Rehear challenge in U.S. flag T-shirt case. This is by, of course, the McClatchy Tribune. San Jose, rejecting free speech arguments from parents, Republican lawmakers, and conservative groups, a federal appeals court Wednesday refused to reconsider a ruling that found a Morgan Hill, California high school had a legal right to order students wearing American flag adorned shirts to them inside out during a 2010 Cinco de Mayo celebration. I'm going to continue here. The Ninth U.S. Court of Appeals let stand its February ruling in favor of Lake Oak High School administration, who argued that a history of problems on the Mexican holiday justified the decision to act against the American flag wearing students. Officials at the high school ordered students to either cover up the shirt or go home, citing past threats and campus strife between Latinos and white students that raised fears of violence. Lawyers for the parents, backed by 20 Republican members of Congress, asked the Ninth Circuit to rehear the case with a special 11-judge panel. 3 circuit judges dissented, saying they disagree with both court rulings in the case and its decisions not to grant a new hearing. Bunch of cowards, I would say. Bend over Bobs. William Becker, the parents' lawyer, called the decision outrageous and vowed to take the case to the U.S. Supreme Court. We will not allow politically correct judiciary to insult our flag, he said. The unanimous 3-judge panel had found that the school's actions were reasonable given the safety concerns which outweighed the students' First Amendment claims. Our role is not to second-guess the decision to have Cinco de Mayo celebration of the prosecutions put in the place to public violence. The judge ruled. At the time of the incident, the legal flap drew nationwide attention to the parents' First Amendment argument that no circumstance warrant a school forbidding the student from wearing the shirt with the American flag. That the parents told the San Jose Mercury News that the students were showing their patriotism and did not intend to incite trouble with the Latino students on Cinco de Mayo. The Ninth Circuit decision relied heavily on the U.S. Supreme Court's 1969 precedent on when schools can cite safety concerns to justify taking action that might violate students' free speech rights. The Supreme Court would not have to revisit that precedent if the justices decided to hear the live oak case. Ninth Circuit Judge Dermot O'Scanlan, who wrote Wednesday's dissent, may have provided fodder for conservatives on the Supreme Court considered the case, calling February's ruling regrettable. He warned the decision opened the door for schools to stifle speech for any threat saying demands of bullies will become school policy. This is by actually Howard Mintz from the San Jose Mercury News. I have to really find this pretty damn blasphemous. And regarding Cinco de Mayo, this actually happened in Mexico when when this one town defeated the French. And you know what? What's this guy do as an American holiday? You know, and I'm going to look up Cinco de Mayo, and I'll just give you a little brief rundown, which I'm going to add that to my footnote for that particular article I read. And, yeah, go on Mexican Online. Yeah, I can use that. And it was from the Battle at Puebla in 1862 at a violent and chaotic time in Mexico's history. That's what it came about. And during that time, the French want to get the money back. So they tried to go into town, and they lost. So there was a big invasion of Mexico by France. So I will add that to the link on there with that particular article. And I do really find that pure blasphemy. and those judges, those judges that refuse to go in there, not more than a bunch of treasonous cowards. And I don't give a damn what they think of me, because so far as I'm concerned, they make Benedict Arnold a true patriot. So let's make that really clear. Alright, well, I'm going to hit this next one. From The Most Important News is by Michael Snyder. Came out on the 15th of September. Newly revealed NSA program allows online global internet mapping. And it says here, the NSA's Treasure Map project is aimed at conducting global cyber attacks and mapping the internet in its entirety to include end users' devices, Der Spiegel has revealed. The breathtaking mission is described in a treasure map presentation from the documents of the former intelligence service employee Edward Snowden. It instructs analysts to map the entire internet and a device anywhere all the time. The media outlet reports. The reports claim that the NSA programs allow the creation of an interactive map of the global internet available to the U.S. surveillance agency. One can imagine it is a kind of Google Earth for global data traffic, a bird's eye view of the planet's digital arteries. An examination of classified documents has indicated that the U.S. surveillance service is keeping at least two German telecom providers, Deutsche Telekom AG and Netcologne, under close observation. Experts warn that in practice, the NSA has thus obtained access to more than 60 million German end users' devices, including smartphones, tablets, and desktops. Disclosure has provoked deep concerns regarding the security personal data held by telecom providers in Germany. And I gotta do a little click here to read the rest of the story. By Rehear. Okay. Yeah, very interesting here. Gonna go a little further. One moment. I think I go provider in Germany. Okay. Furthermore, since Netcologne is the regional provider, it is more likely that the NSA penetrated into its network from within Germany. Der Spiegel notes that would be a clear violation of German law and potentially another NSA-related case for German public prosecutors. In another twist, the British Intelligence and Security Agency, GCHG, is also accused of gaining illegal access to Germans' personal data. Together, the Anglo-American Surveillance Agency are said to have already successfully hacked several German companies, notably Stellar, Catel, and AIBG, all satellite communications operators. Stellar CEO Christian Steffen reacted fiercely to the revelation. A cyber attack of this kind clearly violates German law. He told Der Spiegel, "I want to know why we are a target and exactly how the attack against us was conducted, if for no other reason than to be able to protect myself and my customers from this happening again," Steffen added. It remains unclear why the NSA and GCHQ are conducting such an aggressive policy towards Germany telecom companies. Both surveillance agencies have declined to comment on the two revelations. Experts predict that these disclosures will further aggressive tensions between Berlin and Washington. The cyber war continues. And why they want to do this? Part of the whole global domination. Just another example. Spy versus spy. I do find it sacrilege anyway, because just all it is just totally lunacy and blasphemy. Oh man, I don't know. This That's how I get dumbfounded. I admit that. But the whole thing is, it's gonna blow back in their faces one day. One thing about these big spy surveillance facilities, they love dishing it out, but they hate receiving. When you get these NSA whistleblowers come out and tell them what's going on, they take a real dump in their pants and they call these people traitors. Give me a break. Not more than sacrilegious buffoons, as far as I'm concerned. Alright, I know I'm not really speaking as much, so next one here is from the New American. Came out yesterday. Defense official presents dim picture of war against ISIS. This is by Warren Mass, as it reads, speaking before the Senate Armed Services Committee on September 16th, the nation's two top defense officials, Defense Secretary Hagel, shown on the left, and Chairman to the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Martin Dempsey, shown on the right, presented a less than optimistic prospect of success for the Obama administration's new strategy to defeat the Islamic states in Iraq and Syria, ISIS. The Obama administration prefers to use ISIL, the Islamic State, for Iraq and the Levant. A report from the McClatchy Washington Bureau, carried by the Miami Herald, noted that Hagel and Dempsey outlined a list of hurdles any U.S. plan needs to overcome to defeat ISIS, including uncertainty that Iraqi military forces can be reconstituted to become an effective force against ISIS, as well as uncertainty that a U.S.-trained Syrian force will make fighting ISIS a higher priority than the fighting government of Syria President Bashar al-Assad. Furthermore, that noted the report, we cannot even count on the administration's pledge that no American soldiers will engage in ground combat operations. Dempsey said he could foresee circumstances where U.S. advisors would join Iraqi troops, for example, if the militants try to recapture Mosul, and what he called close combat advising. If we reach the point where I believe our advisors should accompany the Iraqi troops on attacks against specific targets, I would recommend that to the president, Dempsey told the committee. Dempsey's statement prompted President Obama to expand on the point when he addressed troops at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa on September 17th. The American forces do not and will not have a combat mission. Obama said U.S. troops will support Iraqi forces on the ground as they fight for their own country against these terrorists. But he added, as their commander-in-chief, I will not commit to you and the rest of our armed forces to fighting together in another ground war in Iraq. The statement made by Secretary Hagel to the committee said, the Defense Department civilian and military leaders are in complete agreement that the United States and our allies and partners must take action against ISIL, that the president's strategy is the right approach. However, as President Obama repeatedly made clear, American military power alone to eradicate the threats posed by ISIL to the United States, our allies, and our friends and partners in the region. Iraq's continued political progress toward a more inclusive and representative government and its program of reform and reconciliation will be critical. We believe that Iraq's new Prime Minister, Hadi al-Abadi, is committed to bring all Iraqis together against ISIL. To support him and the Iraqi people in their fight, the coalition will need to use all instruments of powers, military, law enforcement, economic, diplomatic, and intelligence in coordination with the countries in the region. Hagel went outlined the number of Americans committed to missions, and summed up by stating, by all the time these forces arrive, will be approximately 1,600 U.S. personnel in Iraq responding to ISIL threat. But as the president said last week, American forces will not have a combat mission. Sounds like Vietnam 101, right? The Secretary, Vietnam War, very similar non-combat missions if you just look it up. The secretary almost made an interesting comment regarding as a side